Hey there, this is Mr. Icarus, and welcome to the channel update for May 2017. We're steadily approaching the 25,000 subscriber mark here on the channel, very exciting indeed, and the map I've been working on is done layout-wise. I know where all the keys go, all the doors that I need to rig, all that jazz. Now it's just kind of making sure that the texture job doesn't suck, along with many of the enemy encounters that I've got planned. You've got to make sure they flow nicely. I actually scrapped a big section of the map I've been working on too. I had this idea for an opening area that I'd laid down, and you had to raise certain platforms to get to a door that requires multiple keys to unlock, and then I moved on to the other sections, and when I came back to look it over a little closer, it just seemed to suck. The quality just wasn't up to the standard of the other sections that I designed, so hopefully what I've swapped it out with flows a heck of a lot better. Chances are the map will be a little late, knowing the way that I work, but hopefully not by much. My window for release should be well within, say, the first 1,000 subs of that new milestone, so you shouldn't be waiting too long for it. Other important stuff to cover about the channel this month is I've signed up with the Curse Network, also known as Union for Gamers, just to see if anything changes channel-wise. If you're not aware, for the last 2 months I've been running independent. I've not been affiliated with any network, and it's been kind of awful when it comes to things being sustainable ad-wise. So I've signed up with Curse in the hopes that they might be able to maybe boost the ad rates, make them a bit more relevant. The tricky thing for me is that the channel itself has been humming along real nice. New subs are coming in, nice chunk of people are watching new videos as they release. It's just that YouTube itself, whatever it's been fiddling around with of late, has resulted in all of that positive progress not really being rewarded. It's kind of deflating. Regardless, however, I do want to persevere. I actually enjoy doing this, which certainly helps. So hopefully I can just ride the tough times out. Hopefully this new arrangement works for me and results in things being a little bit more sustainable again. And if it turns out that this network is crap, I can drop them. Thankfully, Curse doesn't have a lock-in contract, so it should be relatively painless for me to go back independent if the need be. In other news, I've got my hands on the Steam release of Vanquish, which I've been very much looking forward to. I do actually have a copy of Vanquish for the PlayStation 3. I've not played it all the way through, however. I've kind of had that awkward situation where I've never quite had the time to dedicate to it, but this seems a hell of a lot more convenient, and I can actually stream my fail for everyone to see. So if you want to see someone fumble around with rocket-powered knee slides, then feel free to head on over to the Twitch page. I'll be playing Vanquish for the 2 variety slots this week, which will be Wednesday and Thursday. And considering the game is relatively short, I may even get through it, because the whole thing about Vanquish, it's kind of built around going back and improving on your past performance. So yeah, the story will probably be mercifully short, as it is also ridiculously insane. You may be wondering what the situation will be with me playing Battlegrounds. Well, really, playing it on a week-by-week basis with the usual early access issues is kind of making me a little grumpy. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a rest until, you know, I decide to come back and stream it again. And I think it's a combination of the servers for Battlegrounds being very, very inconsistent, resulting in encounters that really should go my way, but inexplicably go the way of my enemy, and my hardware ain't that great either when it comes to playing that particular kind of game. It's not very optimized at the moment, and my setup struggles, to be honest, when streaming that. So it might be a week or two before I return to it, but hopefully by then I may either have new hardware that I can play it more smoothly with, or some of the server issues will in fact be ironed out. But if it turns out that there's more space that I need to fill before Battlegrounds is in a fit state for me to stream again, I do also have a PlayStation 4 now. Finally! It was supposed to be a birthday present at the end of June, but I actually managed to get my hands on it a little early. Naturally, this also means that I do have Bloodborne now. I've been so eager to get my hands on that game, and as soon as I get everything connected up properly, as soon as I figure out what I'm doing with my Elgato and what monitor I want to use to display the actual footage of it because you get some kind of weird delay when you stream from consoles, I'll stream it. And it's gonna be an infuriating blind run, I'm sure. It's gonna be a complete salt mine. I'm saving it. I really am. I'm saving the experience for Twitch so everyone can join in and heckle me in backseat game, because this will be a complete blind play of Bloodborne. You really won't want to miss it, but rest assured, I'll let everyone know when it's happening. So, outside of the YouTube channel and outside of Twitch, there is, of course, that gaming juggernaut rearing its Hydra-like heads in less than 2 weeks' time, which is, of course, the Electronic Entertainment Expo E3. As you can imagine, I'll be regarding the Sony lineup a little closer than I normally would, now that I actually have a fairly recent console. Sure, it's not a PS4 Pro, but it'll still play the games. As for specifics, I'd love to see something new on the sequel to Wolfenstein: The New Order. The rumor was that it'll be called New Colossus, which to me sounds more of a work-in-progress title than anything, but regardless, I loved The New Order. They did a fantastic job, and I'd love to go on more alternate history, Nazi-slaying adventures with good old BJ Blazkowicz. Naturally, I'd also like to see more New Doom. It was a genuine surprise that it turned out to be as solid and enjoyable as it did, and there is clearly room for a sequel. A fair few people are hoping for some kind of single-player expansion to the current game, but I honestly think that ship has sailed. They're probably going to cram all of that plus much more into the sequel, and believe me, there is certainly room for all that goodness. Hey, we might even get a good multiplayer section out of it. Maybe not. But hey, they could roll out the Icon of Sin this time. We got the Spider Mastermind. So this could follow the template of the original Doom 2, but a Hell on Earth maybe? Could be very interesting indeed. There's apparently a new Platinum Games IP in the works, which is always exciting, something original. On a similar tangent, a few seem to be hoping for Devil May Cry 5. As much as I'd love to see another entry, I'm not quite sure it'll happen at E3. Capcom are spinning a lot of plates at the moment, so I'm not sure if they actually have room for another Devil May Cry entry. But hey, stranger things have happened. Speaking of potential new IPs, FromSoft also have something in the works. A lot of people are actually bracing themselves for Bloodborne 2. I'm not sure if there's more to explore in that world, really. Honestly, I don't. I need to actually finish the game first, but feel free to let me know if you do have any conspiracy theories for how it may, in fact, continue. It's a tricky one. I feel that Miyazaki works best when he's creating new worlds, and everyone would obviously like to see something new and fresh and original, because, let's face it, there's only so many times you can go over the Soulsborne formula, so many times you can iterate on that before it maybe starts to feel a little samey and stale. So maybe we'll get something familiar, maybe we'll get something new. Hugh knows. Hugh Jackman, that's the guy. We gotta ask him. Why did I fucking say Hugh? Anyway, moving on from that particular bit of brain fail, there's also Death Stranding. What can I say? It's a new IP from Hideo Kojima. On those grounds alone, it is well worth paying attention to what comes next. Personally, what I'd like to see is some hint of what the actual gameplay here will be like, or even some idea of what the ever-loving heck is going on in its story. I mean, there's Norman Reedus and his funky fetus, Mads Mikkelsen with his spooky brigade, and Guillermo del Toro with his... Is it a baby in a jar? Is it another fetus? I don't know. Seriously, Kojima, what the hell is going on? Please try and make some kind of sense. I would be very thankful to have a clue. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm looking out for at this year's E3. There's obviously so much more going on, but trying to think of all of it just makes my brain hurt. If I'm feeling brave, I might actually do some kind of video post-mortem after the dust settles, maybe focus on each individual conference, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see if there's enough I feel like actually talking about. But with all of that out of the way, it is of course time once again to give a big badass shout out to my Nutter tier patrons who have graciously supported me over the last month. Big thanks to Ben Rosenberg, Hyperactive Cow, Incursion Gerbil, D1 Sova, Joe Gaston, Alexander Wright, Kind Torment, Connor Zollinger, Jeremy Strickland, JMAA, and Fenrir Wolf. And of course, not forgetting my Loon tier patrons. There you are on screen right there. Thank you very, very much. You've been a big help in just covering the gaps over the last few months, and hopefully things get a little better in the months ahead. If you'd like to become a patron yourself and support the channel, the link is in the description below, and you can have your name displayed in all its blazing glory right here at the end of the monthly channel update. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Mr. Icarus. Icarus out.